This beautiful graph has been created within minutes from a vast comparison of literature data as well as my own personal data. And you can do this too. Welcome to a Pioneer database tutorial. My name is Mike, and today I'll show you how to quickly compare your own data with results reported in literature using the PDB app's main interface. To do so, you need two things. First, a txt file organized in two columns separated by comma that contains your own data. And second, the PDB app. One way of reaching it is via our publication on the topic that is on the screen right now. So we scroll down until the link that is db.co2pioneer.eu, which brings us to the main interface of the database. For illustration, we will look today at the conversion of CO2 in a mixture of CO2 and argon or CO2 and helium. I've prepared two correctly formatted txt files from work that we recently submitted for publication that we now would like to compare with literature. So what we want to do first is to filter the data in the PDB as much as possible to make the comparison more significant. Let's start by selecting the right XY data. As you can see, the Y, it's okay, it's the conversion of CO2, but for the X data, we select the initial fraction of CO2 in the gas mixture in percent. And now we choose the right gas mixture. To do so, we go to the gas tab, and here under gas species, we select argon and helium. We remove this dummy none and select the OR operator. And to see whether all of this works, we now going to group the data by the gas components and remove the source type grouping. And as you can see in the legend on the right, in fact, now all gas mixtures include argon or helium, but you can also see that there are also more complex gas mixtures that we are not interested in for now. So we remove them from the figure simply by clicking on the labels here in the legend until we are left with only CO2 argon and CO2 helium. And as you can see, the overall trend is that with increasing admixture of noble gas, so going here from right to left, the conversion of CO2 increases. That being said, we can now compare our own data. To do this, we go to the Custom Overlay tab, browse for the data. I here prepared two files that are named thisWork argon and thisWork helium, and use the Preview Data button to compare. And indeed, shown as red crosses here for argon and purple crosses for helium, we see that our data nicely aligns with the trend that we observed before. But on top of that, we can see that our data is actually the highest conversion reported in literature, which is of course very promising. Another interesting comparison would be to see who published what data. But to do so, we have to make a few changes. Let's first remove the data comparison for now and go back to the gas tab. Now, instead of specifying which gases we want to include, we instead specify which gases we want to exclude from our mixture. So basically we select all the other gases that are methane, hydrogen, water, nitrogen, and last but not least, oxygen. We now drop argon and helium from this selection and instead select the NOR operator. Which results in a figure that we are familiar with already, but now we can also remove the data grouping, which leaves us with a color code that just indicates the name of the first author and the year of publication. We're gonna overlay our data again, showing the same picture, but now allowing us to see who published what. All that is left to do now is here on the bottom left to export a TXT file that contains the BibTeX entries of all the publications shown in this graph, and of course to also export the graph itself in a nice scalable vector graphics format that can be immediately used for your next publication. On the long run, you want of course your data to be included in the PDB as well. And how to do that we'll show you in another video.